Hello, Jen here, and I have day 2 of Christy's 30 days of sketches. So I showed you the sketch at the beginning. I just showed you the podcast I'm listening to while I go ahead and scrap this. And I love this sketch. So I was really excited when I saw this because this is the perfect sketch to get a bunch of photos or a bunch of scraps. If you have tons of scraps, this is a great way. This kind of grid pattern, quilt pattern is great to get those scraps used up. It's great if you want to mix a lot of different patterns together or different collections together. This is kind of a fun one too. So it's a super versatile sketch and I just love it. I also find that this sketch actually works really good no matter what size you're scrapping. So you'll see here that I kind of can pull this whole grid together on my traveler's notebook insert, but I also think you could do it, with any size, 6x6 or your 6x8, 12x12, even a 2-page spread. You could kind of take the grid and blow it up a little bit bigger. I even think you could do this in Project Life. You could do maybe the whole spread with all the different pockets and kind of have different combinations of blocks of patterns and pictures or whatever, or, on individual cards. I like this sketch, as you can tell. So it was a lot of fun to kind of play around with it. And this ended up being a really great opportunity for me to get a ton of these little memes and just screenshots and stuff that I kind of was keeping from our whole COVID pandemic adventure that we've been on lately. Anytime I saw something that kind of made me laugh or, anything, I used my screenshot, I saved it in my album, all that kind of stuff. And so I have a ton of pictures and I printed them all in little squares, little 2x2s or 2x3s, that kind of thing. And so this was definitely a good sketch to get as many of those as possible. So I didn't follow the sketch very closely. I kind of took the elements that I liked about it, so namely the grid and having different patterns and different sections, and I put the sketch away and kind of rolled with it. So that's the beauty of a sketch, right? You can follow it as closely or as loosely as you want. And they're definitely a good thing to keep in your arsenal if you are struggling with a design maybe, or you feel like maybe you've been doing the same thing over and over again and you just kind of want to break out of your shell, break out of your box a little bit. A sketch can definitely give you some inspiration that way. And you'll notice as you watch all these videos that even though we're all using the same sketch, there will be such a world of difference between each person's layouts. So Christy, I think I forgot to say this at the beginning. Christy, Moira, and Crystal are doing all 30 days. And then throughout the month, people will be jumping in. So there is a ton of amazing, scrappy, talented, wonderful people that are participating. And so every day you will have those 3 for sure. And then you'll have a bunch of other guests that are joining in. So this is a super fun series. If you want to follow it, you have tons of inspiration every day. So you can see what I'm doing here because I actually, even though this is a bit of a grid pattern, I still have more pictures than space in these pages. And so I'm going to do a couple of these little flip outs just to give myself some extra room on the pages, on this page, to get some more photos in there. And this is my COVID-19 journal that I've been working in, my traveler's notebook journal that I've been working in. That is from Wild Whisper. So the actual insert itself is from Wild Whisper, and then I'm using their 6 Feet Apart collection and some of their free printables. I haven't done their cut files yet, but they have really good COVID cut files as well. So I'll leave all the links to that down below so you can go and grab yourself some free printables if you want them and the free cut files. And I'll leave my discount code down below too. So if you like anything else that you see, you can grab 10% off. And I love this collection. I love that it's just a little bit different. The colors are just a little bit different, and it definitely has that classic Wild Whisper style to it, so it fits with other collections. So that always is kind of a bonus, because it means that you can stretch those little scraps and bits that are left over to get more bang for your buck. And Susie and Heather did a really good job of kind of combining a bunch of different things that have been going on into the collection. So they've got, the hand sanitizer and toilet paper and all that kind of stuff. But then they also have a bunch of different quotes, and they have, for example, they asked the design team for things that they wanted to have included or hope to see included in the collection. And so, there's a lot of kind of Canadiana in there too, which is so much fun. And then just some really great patterns. So it was a good opportunity to get a bunch of these patterns into one layout. And so I started with the pictures because they are all different sizes. I kind of cut them all out and had a good idea of what pictures I wanted on here. This whole layout is going to be just about memes. And so this page and my journaling will talk about how just, as soon as things started to hit, people were already creating memes and jokes and kind of trying to bring a little bit of humor into what was going on. And so I'll probably end up with multiple inserts for our lovely pandemic. And I thought that just occasionally throughout them, I will probably do a similar page with just a whole bunch of the different memes. So there's things like that bingo card that has in the middle it says stay inside, and then it has things like downloaded Animal Crossing and tried to learn a TikTok dance and rewatched an entire series, worried about your job, school, gave yourself a haircut. So just all that kind of stuff. I thought that was a really good representation of the things that people have been doing to try to stay busy and, entertain themselves while stuck at home. And then there is that other one that I created a flip out on the left hand side that says, I don't think anyone expected that when we changed the clocks earlier this month we'd go from standard time to the twilight zone. And then the one at the top says, new monthly budget, gas 0, entertainment 0, clothes 0, groceries $1,624. So just all those little things that you kind of want to remember, because you have to find the humor somewhere, I guess, right? So this design is just a really good way to get a whole bunch of those all together on one page. And then in my next notebook, I have tons of them that I've kept. So I can just grab another bunch of them and put another kind of grid patterned page together, and just, pop a little bit of humor in there with all the other stuff going on. So because my layout is a smaller scale, I decided to create a grid across the whole 2 pages instead of trying to take the sketch and actually shrink it down. And that way it gave me a lot of room to be able to create my little puzzle almost, and get as much pattern and color and little printouts that I have as possible. And then to kind of keep with the sketch, I decided to throw a tag in there, and that's where I can put some of my journaling. And I don't need a ton of journaling for this. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I just wanted to have a little spot where I could kind of write that it's fun to see how creative people can be with all of this stuff. And tucking it behind my bingo card lets you know that you have to kind of flip that bingo card over, so it's a bit interactive. And that's definitely something that I try to do as often as possible in my traveler's notebooks, because I don't want to add a ton of dimensional embellishments. I don't want to make anything too thick. I'd love to add flair and all that kind of stuff. And occasionally I do. I know I've said that before on some of my videos, you've seen me add some flair, but for the most part, if I know I'm adding a ton of photos, I try not to add a lot of dimension because the traveler's notebooks just get too chunky and then they're hard to store and things kind of get wrecked in there. So having these little kind of flip outs adds a bit of a fun element, and it gives you some interest to each of your layouts and doesn't make it too extra bulky. So to finish my layout, I'm just adding my title, Quarantine Memes. Quarantine comes from the ephemera pack, and I did add some other ephemera kind of scattered around the layout as well, and then I just used some alpha for the word memes, and I will do some journaling on that tag and behind the other flip out too, so that will be in the photos at the end. And that is it. That's my layout for day 2. Please check out all the links down below for everybody else that's joining in today, and the Wild Whisper links will be down there too, so you can get your freebies and the 10% off discount code. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will be back again tomorrow. So until then, happy scrapping. Bye.